Hello everybody and welcome back to Odin's Movie Blog. I am the critic who is a cynic. Hope you're doing well. And today we're talking about the Avengers. So it seems that there has been some leak according to a new rumor published by MCU Cosmic. The full title for Avengers 4 is Avengers Annihilation, which to me sounds like it's likely going to be the end title for this film. So of course there was early rumors that it would be Endgame, playing off of the words of Doctor Strange saying, oh, we're in the Endgame now, and you know, possibly being the one future in which they end up overcoming Thanos in some way. And so that obviously made a lot of sense, but didn't really get any backing for it, and it kind of faded away. Now this is the newest one, Annihilation, and this one also seems to make sense because it does look like there are going to be certain characters that aren't coming back. There was the news that leaked today because they wrapped up, you know, pretty much everything that they had to do for the film, at least for one of the characters, and that was Chris Evans as Captain America, basically giving almost a goodbye note in a lot of ways to his character, and it's been confirmed that he is not going to be coming back to the character, that he's going to be retiring from acting. I know that was his plan for a very long time, and so it looks like that is indeed going to happen. I think Annihilation definitely fits that, because Annihilation again deals with, you know, fading away essentially from existence itself, which really ties in, of course, to Thanos' plan, but also the fact that we do have characters and we do have actors that are indeed fading away permanently from this universe is also something that's worth talking about. Of course, it brings up a lot of interesting questions, like who's going to take his place? Are they going to make a new Captain America? Are they going to try and just recast him? And based on the title, it seems what is going to happen is that this character, at least played by Steve Rogers, is no longer going to exist. Now, whether that means that they finally make Bucky Captain America, which I think would be the best option, the one that makes the most sense, whether they try and go another route, I honestly don't know, but with a name like Annihilation, it does seem like there are going to be characters that are permanently gone, both actor and character permanently gone from those roles, and I think that it could be very interesting down the line. So we will have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens. We know that, you know, New York Comic-Con's coming up very soon, so of course we are going to probably get some more rumors, some more leaks about what's going to happen there. I'm sure there's going to be a panel where they're going to talk about these very things, because obviously that's always a huge way in which you're able to get people excited for these various topics. You know, obviously we have other things that are going on. Obviously you have the Disney Expo where they also release things there. I mean, a lot of Disney properties are now transferring over there and going away from Comic-Cons, but New York Comic-Con is usually one where big announcements happen. I would not be surprised if the name for this film is released at that time, especially since we have this film coming out in only really a few, you know, maybe the next 5 or 6 months or so, and so it's right around the corner for a lot of, you know, for a lot of people, and it's very, very exciting nonetheless. But this is also something that it's important to look at and kind of compare it to what the current state of Star Wars is at this current moment, because no, sorry, not Star Wars, of the MCU. Whew, my mind is always in Star Wars. So it also is important to understand where this lies within the current realm of the MCU as well, because we have Captain America, you know, who is, you know, now fading away from existence, it seems, and then you have also Captain Marvel, which is very likely going to be really the deciding point for a lot of people on whether or not they want to commit to the Marvel future, because it has been said from the very beginning that Captain Marvel, the future is female, oh, the future is Captain Marvel, and she is a hero, and all this nonsense has been pushed down our throats, and it does seem like that is the direction. So this film is so important, not only because it needs to bring people in, it needs to put butts in the seats, which I think it's going to do, but I don't know if it's going to be enough to break $1 billion. I think it's going to make money, but I don't think this is going to be one of the most successful films of all time based on the already negative reaction, the negative view from a lot of people about just the nonsense that the media has been covering for the story, covering of this film, saying, oh my goodness, let's focus on the fact that she's a woman, she's a woman, she's a woman. Okay, we get it. We understand it. We get it. You don't need to constantly just push it down our throats. Just tell us a good story with a good character. We do not care. Most people do not care. I say this all the time, and it's true. Most people do not care what the gender or race of the person on screen is. All most people care about is it a good story? Are there good characters? That is the main thing most people care about. And you can try and say, oh, well, that's just a sign that you just don't understand your privilege, and it's like, just shut up. Just seriously, just go away. You know, everyone shuts you. Everyone you think listens to you and listens to your rants just most likely tunes you out because they don't want to listen to the nonsense anymore. But we have that film coming out, and so that is going to be a huge thing. Not only to put butts in seats, but also to tell a story that sets up for not only the Avengers 4, but also, more importantly, for the future franchise, for the next phase of the Marvel Universe, and that is why it is so important. With a name like Annihilation, we are getting very excited. We are getting very, very pumped for this story. We're getting very pumped for this film. I think the Avengers 4 is going to make bank. I think we have another $2 billion plus movie on our hands. If it's anything like the first one with Thanos, I think that this one could definitely, if not match it, possibly even exceed it, because there is still a lot of love there. Yes, Star Wars. Yes, Disney. Yes, Lucasfilm. You can make multiple films a year and still make money. You can do too much, too fast, and still make a profit when you tell a good story with good characters, and also you get good audience reactions as well. This is a great example of that, but Captain Marvel, once again, is kind of the linchpin in all this. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be enough? Or is it going to show that Disney is indeed trying to shift all of its properties into more of this SJW agenda, which if they do, they're going to lose a lot of people, myself included. I'll still go see the films, but I will no longer be putting my hard-earned cash towards those films. I would rather give that to another film or to another company, to another production company, and then just casually walk into a theater showing the film. That's just me personally, and that is just how I feel about that. But this also brings into discussion currently what's going on with Venom. So Venom obviously is a Spider-Man character, and to me this is a great example of how Sony has constantly, it seems, tried to create its own universe within Sony, and it tries to especially kind of say, oh yeah, well, you know, Marvel has, you know, is kind of borrowing, and we're working with Marvel right now for Spider-Man, it's working really well. Oh, well, let's show that we can still make movies too, and apparently it's just not panning out very well. Now, of course, we look at these ratings, and we see the common story, low from critics, high from audiences, which means that this probably isn't the most well-made film of all time. It probably is a film that should have been rated R, probably is lacking a lot of things, but at least it's still entertaining. Again, from almost 9,000 reviews at this point, it's at 88%, which is nothing to snuff at. It is nothing to ignore. It is nothing to just completely disregard. It is still important in understanding this, and so this looks like a film that is still fun. Now, I know Jeremy, I saw the footnail from Jeremy Geeks and Gamers where he just immediately was face palming, you know, had his head over his eyes. I know a lot of people have given it negative reviews, people that I listen to like Jeremy Johns and others. So at the end of the day, I have a feeling that I probably will be in that same camp, but it looks like still enough people, a lot of people are still enjoying this film, are still having fun with it. But what it does show is that even if you have fun with it or not, I think most people would come out of it saying, yeah, Sony, you shouldn't just make up your own stories, because this just is pretty much devoid of anything with Spider-Man. And if you know anything about even me, with the limited knowledge I know of the comics, know that when the Sam Raimi movies came out, that even though the third one was not very good, it did still follow a lot of the story arc from, at least from the origins perspective of the characters, including that of Venom. And so this, they just try and make up this own origin story. And what bothers me the most about all of this is that because this story seems to be, again, even there it says, in desperate need of a stronger attachment to Spider-Man, even the fact is, and the fact remains, that when you look at the symbiote, if this does not have Spider-Man in it, if there is no connection to Spider-Man in it, it doesn't make any sense. Like, when you look at the actual, why would the symbiote look like that? Why would the symbiote look like a Spider-Man suit, a deformed black Spider-Man suit, if he had no interactions with Spider-Man? Now, they might try and, you know, maybe there was an end credit scene that, you know, kind of, you know, show why it happened. Again, I haven't seen it yet. I'm going to go see it this weekend, but that seems to be the case. All I've been hearing from this and all I've been reading from it is that it kind of tries to tell its own origin story without relying on Spider-Man, telling its own self-contained story, essentially making up its own origin. But the problem is that if you're going to keep the same aesthetic look, the reason why the character looks this way is because of the connection to Spider-Man. So you cannot have it that way without having some kind of connection. And so this again shows why Marvel at this point has been doing such a great job. When other studios like Sony try and do things on their own, it doesn't always work out. You know, Fox is a good example of them being able to make really good films like Logan, but then also making really bad films like X-Men: The Last Stand. So it's definitely a hit or miss. But with Sony, they probably have the rockiest track record when it comes to making superhero films, and so it looks like maybe they should think about, you know, letting Marvel take care of it. But guys, what are your thoughts about that? Have you seen Venom? Do you think it's any good? And also, what are your thoughts on this possible official name, possibly not official, not quite official name of Avengers 4 Annihilation? I really do think that's a good name, and I think that if it means what I think it means, which is that there are certain characters that are no longer going to exist, stakes have been raised. Stakes have been raised to the point where now audiences are going to be like, oh my goodness, who is going to leave? Who is not going to be there? I am kind of upset that they let Chris Evans, you know, put the goodbye note out there, because it does seem to influence heavily our thought that he is indeed no longer going to be part of the MCU, even though, of course, this is not a huge surprise because of previous comments that he's made. However, it does still kind of take away a little bit of the tension. But who do you think is going to leave? Who do you think is not going to be a part of the MCU other than Captain America? I would love to hear your thoughts about this, and also I'd love to hear your thoughts about Venom as well. Again, if it's good, do you think it might be okay? Do you think that they should have just, not made this film, or do you think that they should have probably let Marvel take care of it? Because that's personally what I think. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Like this video, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe. It really does mean a lot to me. You guys are all amazing. We are now over 5,000 subscribers. I have to talk to the wife tonight about whether or not I'm going to do a live stream. If I do, I'm going to try and maybe go and pick up some Popeyes, and we'll have some fried pork, and it's going to be great. Maybe the onesie will make an appearance. I don't know. If not tomorrow, if not tonight, then definitely tomorrow night for our regular movie night where we will be watching The Addams Family, our first of our October movie watch series. So I hope to see you there. Have a great day, and as always, God bless.